If your brand's growth has stalled, it's not bad luck. You're facing a bottleneck. And until you fix it, no amount of ad spend or sending a bunch of emails will help you scale your brand. So to understand what exactly is holding back your brand from scaling, we have to understand bottlenecks. A bottleneck is a single point in your customer journey that's preventing growth. Think of your brand like a funnel. You have your traffic, you have your site, you have conversion, you have retention. If one part is weak, it drags down the entire system. So here are the 3 common bottlenecks that I see many brands face. Bottleneck number 1 is traffic. You're simply not getting enough traffic to your site. So what this entails is looking at your traffic sources. Are you getting traffic from organic? Are you getting traffic from influencers? Are you getting traffic from paid? We need to understand exactly what your traffic sources are and how to actually increase them. So what I'd recommend is if you're running paid advertising, go into your ads manager and see what click-through rates are. If your click-through rates are less than, let's say, a 1%, then you're definitely in the red. You need to improve your ad creatives. So it's really important to understand what the benchmarks are for every step of the funnel, then reviewing on a daily, weekly basis what is holding you back. For many brands, traffic is a function of creative as well as the amount you're spending on ads. And before you just start increasing your budget, let's first make sure that your creatives are actually telling the customer about the offer and presenting it in a digestible way, and that it has a high click-through rate. So if traffic is the bottleneck you're experiencing, look at your traffic sources, look at your ads manager, look at your click-through rate, and then decide maybe you need to increase that budget to get more traffic to your site. Second bottleneck that I think is one of the most common bottlenecks is conversion. So if you're getting traffic to your site, you're saying, yeah, we're getting tons of sessions to our site. Our ad click-through rate is great. We're getting all this traffic. This is fantastic, but people aren't converting. Then it's an issue with your website or your landing page. And so typically if your conversion rate is less than, let's say, 2% on your Shopify store, then this is a blaring red issue. At the bare minimum, it should be at 1.5. I like to say less than 2, then that is simply a bottleneck in your business. So go into your Shopify, look at your conversion rate. Is your conversion rate less than 2%? Then that is a bottleneck in your business that you must solve. Now, how do you solve this? Well, it comes down to new product pages, testing a new landing page. The easiest thing that we do is we build out a landing page for all traffic that is built on Replo. It's a Shopify app that's super optimized with conversion rate optimization techniques. So clear headline, tons of social proof, very nice images and photos on the page, and good call to actions and easy checkout process so they can actually buy. Very important that if you don't see a lot of conversions, then your website might not be optimized and you need to improve that relentlessly. The third bottleneck is retention. So maybe you're spending a ton on ads, maybe conversion rate is good, but retention is an issue. Now, there could be a few reasons why people aren't coming back and buying. One, the worst would be that simply your product isn't good. Now, this is the harsh reality of a brand or of a business. If you don't have repeat customers, if they're not telling their friends and family about your products, then maybe your product is not good enough. And this is a hard pill to swallow, but if you're seeing that, then you might need to go back to the drawing board, get feedback from your customers, and improve your product. And that's really a foundational issue, that if you don't have repeat customers because your product is bad, then of course you need to get back to the drawing board and create some iterations of your product. But if it's simply a strategy reason why retention isn't working, then you have to look at your email, SMS, and loyalty programs. So are you hitting customers consistently after they purchase to upsell, cross-sell, or buy more products? Are you sending consistent campaigns? We recommend 2 to 4 email campaigns sent every single week to your list to make sure that you stay top of mind. In 2025, the most important thing is that you have retention dialed in, because if you have a strong customer list, that is the easiest base of customers to sell to, right? So with ads, you're selling to cold customers, you're spending a lot of money to acquire those customers. With retention, you already have a bunch of people that have opted in, that know, like, and trust you, so it's a lot easier to sell to that audience. You should be generating about 25 to 40% of your top line revenue through email and SMS. So it's really important that you have Klaviyo flows dialed in, you're sending consistent campaigns, so that you know that your retention is bolstered and you know that you have a system to convert customers long term, because you don't want to spend all this money on ads and then people just come in, they never buy again. long-term profit is built in retaining and upselling your existing customer base. So how do you know what bottleneck is holding you back? Well, I recommend going through your entire funnel and monitoring all your metrics. Make sure you have proper tools like maybe Google Analytics, make sure your pixels tracking correctly so you can see these things in these accounts, also on Shopify. So with a lot of the traffic stuff, you can look at Google Analytics, you can look at your ads manager to see how much traffic we're actually pulling through. With conversion is oftentimes your conversion rate on your website. Looking at the checkout process, or a lot of people dropping because maybe you have some weird thing in the checkout process is holding people back. And then on the retention side, how much revenue are you generating through email and SMS? What's your returning customer rate? Look at all these metrics and figure out what is exactly holding you back. And you need to ruthlessly fight to improve those metrics week over week, month over month, so that you're set up for long-term success. Do not guess. Let the numbers and data guide your decisions. And it's really easy once you can see on a monthly basis, like, oh, look, it looks like our returning customer rate dropped a lot. Why is that? Then you can go and really analyze on a micro level what is holding you back from scaling. Now that you maybe have identified exactly what is holding you back as you've looked over all those metrics, now it's time to go through the process of auditing and fixing these problems. So starting with the audit, use your data to spot the weakest link, and then go hard into that channel and understand all the factors that are leading to that metric, right? So if we're talking about retention, how many flows do you have set up? How many campaigns are you sending on a weekly basis? Think about the inputs that you can control that lead to that overarching metric. Step number 2 is prioritize. This is really important. If you look in your funnel, you're like, oh my God, there's so many issues, there's so many problems here, then it's prioritize what is the most highest leverage thing. For example, on ads, if your click-through rate, let's say, is a 0.8, but your conversion rate on your site is like a 0.5, your conversion rate is actually the highest leverage thing to do in that situation, because increasing your conversion rate from a 0.5 to a 1.5 is 3xing the amount of purchases that come through on your ads. Oftentimes conversion rate is extremely high leverage because you can spend the same amount on ads and you immediately see an improvement in your ad account because your conversion rate is optimized. Step number 3 is execute with intensity. When you see a blaring bottleneck in your business, you need to focus yourself on it, but also your team or agencies, whoever is responsible for it, to relentlessly focus on smashing through that bottleneck. This could be something that you talk about in a meeting and then no one actually executes. You need to craft a roadmap, a plan on here's the 60-day, 30-day roadmap on how we're going to improve this metric. Here's everything we have to do, and here's how we're going to measure performance week over week to ensure that we're smashing through that bottleneck. We've had clients where, like, one time a client was stuck at like $80,000 a month and their ads were good, retention was good, and the only issue was that the conversion rate was just awful. So we had to rebuild their website or rebuild a landing page, and immediately they're getting 100, 180, $1,000 a month just by smashing through those issues and then seeing that growth over time. So it's really important to implement this stuff and then monitor results and see those improvements, and new bottlenecks will always arise. Your business will scale to the level of your constraints, and bottlenecks are simply just a constraint in your growth. If you want a step-by-step roadmap that literally walks you through week by week on how to smash through certain bottlenecks, whether it's your converting creative, whether it's your optimized marketing, retention, your expansion scale, I have our 60-day core growth blueprint. This is our exact framework that we implement into brands, but I created a document that goes over exactly what you should focus on with your company weekly basis to ensure that you're actually set up for scale. So if you'd like access to that, I'll leave a link down below to download our 60-day core growth roadmap so that you can start implementing these techniques into your business. If you have enjoyed this video, I'll be dropping more videos just like this on how exactly to scale your brand, scale your business through online marketing. So if you haven't already, please click down below and subscribe, and make sure to tune in to future videos because I will want to help you scale your business. I'm here to make you more money. So I appreciate you watching this video. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.